Wait. Okay. So make sure that you are in the right course lah. So we are 2413, BM 2413 applied statistics. So our section is section 9G. Okay. Hopefully that you are in the right one lah. Okay. So so first we are going to discuss the teaching plan of this course. So since it is our first class for this semester, so we discuss first the teaching plan, the one that I upload in group WhatsApp and also the Google Classroom lah. So you can get from the Google Classroom or you can download from the WhatsApp group. Okay. You can hear me, right?
Can.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So the synopsis here you can read by your own. So we have about six chapters together. So chapter 1 until 6. Okay. So for this course we are using Microsoft Excel as a software. So means that it will be implemented in your assignment, a lot in your assignment. So your assignment, all the calculation, all the analysis for the assignment must be using Microsoft Excel. Okay, you cannot do manual calculation, you cannot manual plot the graph and so on. So everything must be go through the Microsoft Excel, the output from the Microsoft Excel. Okay. So from time to time, based on the subtopic, we will discuss the Microsoft Excel. Okay, we will discuss the Microsoft Excel. You can go through the videos, okay, the note, okay. So before that, for this course, so we have two platforms for the notes and also any material. Three platforms, okay. So I will try to upload the notes to the Google Classroom, and also if not, you can refer to the column lah. So all the notes will be uploaded through the column by the coordinator of this subject. Okay, I'm not the coordinator, but in Google Classroom, I try to upload from time to time lah, okay, related to this course. Okay, and then for the teaching videos, as I mentioned, it will be uploaded in our YouTube channel. Okay, so we have BN 2413, Applied Statistics UMP, the YouTube channel. So all the teaching videos will be uploaded in that channel. Okay, and the teaching videos not only from me, so you cannot just find my name. Okay, because we already divide the task within the lecturer. So it will be like this lecturer do for the chapter 1 and so on. So you just find the subtopic that you want, okay, because that channel, it is from the last semester 2, 2019-20, 2020. So that's why most of the videos for the subtopic already in YouTube lah. Yang tinggal depan je chapter 1 and chapter 2. We try to polish that lah, okay. And then for the virtual class, so far I'm used Google Meet for the virtual class so far, okay. But I will inform you from time to time lah the platform that we are going to use, okay. Okay. So for the virtual class, so far I just plan for once a week for our class. So our class will be only on Thursday lah, like today, okay. So we'll be only on Tuesday, okay, 2 until 4. So we try to do like 1.5 or 2 hours lah, okay. So on Tuesday, so another class should be on Tuesday. So on Tuesday, you are supposed to study first the subtopic on that week, okay. So what subtopic should be studied it is in your teaching plan lah, okay. So Tuesday you study first what the subtopic that should be studied on that week, okay. Go through all the notes, okay. So you are given the slide note Okay, so far module still out of stock. Okay, so we penerbit we restore as soon as possible lah. Okay, so now so means that you just use the slide note first. Okay, so go through the notes and also the teaching videos lah. Okay, so on Tuesday, and then on Thursday we are going to discuss the exercise. So I will pick a few exercise and then you do it first before our virtual class. Okay, so in our virtual class, okay, we will discuss the exercise. So I'm not going to teach you like in class, okay, like face to face in class, no. Okay, so we will go through the exercise, we will discuss the exercise, okay. And through the exercise, I will summarize what the subtopic on that week. Okay, I will summarize the subtopic on that week based on the exercise. Okay, so that's why you have to do it first before our class so that you know what happened on that day, right? So that you understand what you don't understand, so that you know what you want to ask. Okay, anything you can ask me. Okay, so it is more to like we discuss what you don't understand, okay, during the virtual class. But when you go through the notes, if you have any question that you don't understand in that video or in the note, you can always text me directly lah, as soon as possible. No need to wait for the virtual class. Okay, so I'm trying to reply as soon as possible. Okay, so online learning, communication is very important lah. So anything you can inform me that related to this course, you can inform me. Okay, let's say that we are about to having a virtual class, but you have problem with the internet, for example, so you can always inform me. Okay, I try to record that session and then you can watch it later lah. Okay, similar when we have the assessment. Okay, so all the assessment so far will be through the Google Classroom. Okay, so make sure that you are in that Google Classroom. Okay, quizzes, letter, tests also, or final. If final still online, then also will be through the Google Classroom. Okay, so what I do, we upload the questions and then you do, you answer that and then you upload your answer scheme also in Google Classroom lah. But if you have problem, then you can send through the WhatsApp only. Okay, so anything, just let me know. Okay, communication is very important. I need to know what happened to you. Don't be a silent student, sleeping student in the class. Okay, anything you can always inform me. Okay, so that I know lah. Okay, so back to the teaching plan. So we have 3 course outcome. This one you should know lah. Okay, when you study, when you sit for this course, okay, you should know that we have 3 outcomes. Okay, it is a knowledge, okay, the application of the Microsoft Excel, okay, and also how to analyze the real life data. That one is through your assignment. Okay, so for the assessment, okay, for the assessment, we have 4 assessment, the basic one. Okay, so far we still implement the 60 and 40%. So 60 from your coursework and another 40 from your final. So still on that lah. Okay, that 80 and 20, that one only for previous semester. So far this semester we still 60 and 40. Okay, so we have quizzes. Sorry. So we have quizzes. So we have 5 quizzes. Okay, so 5 quizzes means that we have 20%. So means that 4% for each quiz. Okay, so 4% for each quiz, it is about 20 marks. Okay, 20 marks of the quiz lah. Okay, so 20 marks, it is about 4% of your coursework. Okay, when it is a quiz, it is in this teaching plan lah. Okay, already state in the teaching plan the subtopic for the quiz and also the time for the quiz, the date for the quiz. Okay, but subject to change lah, the date for the quiz. Okay, and then we have the assignments. Okay, so already Okay, we discuss assignment after this. Okay, but we have the group assignment, which is we divide by two parts. So we have part one and also we have part two. Okay, so part one is about chapter one. So means that you have to submit the part one first in week 5. Okay, so you have about 4 weeks to do your assignment and then submit the part one. Okay, so part two is about chapter 3. So after we finish the chapter 3, about 1 week after we finish, then you do your assignment and then submit the part 2 of your assignment. Okay, so we have to submit separately lah to give time for the lecturer to mark your assignment. Okay, and then we have tasks. So task 30% of your coursework means that half of your coursework. And then we have the final exam, 40% as usual. Okay, if you have any question, you can interrupt me anytime. No need to wait until I ask you whether you have question or not. Okay, so this is the lecturers that teaching applied statistics lah. Okay, so I'm Dr. Wana Shaida. Okay, so I'll be teaching this semester. This 3 section this semester. Okay, so you are 9G. Okay. So this is what we plan for this course. Okay. So this week is a week 1. Okay, that's why I said you should finish until 1.2.4. So means that you should go through the notes until 1.2.4 and also the videos. Okay. So far, I'm not sure whether the video for the 1.2.4 already in YouTube or not, but if not, you can always go through the note first. Okay, it will be uploaded this week. Okay, so this week assignment will be released already in column. The question of the assignment already in column. I think already upload in Google Classroom also. Okay, I will discuss the assignment after this, what you need to do. Okay, and then we have the week 2, what you need to study. Okay, then you will have quiz 1 on week 3. Okay, so quiz 1, it is about 1.2 and 1.3. The topic will be same as this teaching plan, but the date might be changed lah. It's up to the lecturer. So I will inform you from time to time the date for the quiz. Okay, so far it will be on week 3. So it will be on, I think it will be on Thursday lah. Okay, so when we have the quiz, so we try 1 hour for the class and then another 1 hour, the second hour for the quiz. Okay, you do by your own. We upload the question through Google Classroom, and then after you're done, you upload your answer through the Google Classroom in PDF form. Okay. And then we have quiz 2 on week 4, okay, 2.2, okay, and then week 5 is a due date for the assignment part 1. Okay, this is what I said just now lah. Okay, so you do the assignment part 1 first and then submit on the week 5. Okay, so submit soft copy lah to my email. Okay, leader for each group. Email to me the soft copy of your assignment. Okay, part 1. Okay, and then the most important one is your task. The quiz all should be done in lesson. Quiz, no, it's up to you. You can do the, what we call, in your own paper. Use the handwriting only and then scan and then PDF kan and then upload. Okay. If you do soft copy, it will be take more time lah, because when we have calculation, then require more time lah if the soft copy. So you can always do the handwriting, okay, and then you just scan and then upload as a PDF, not as a picture. Picture, it is not clear. Okay, so upload as a PDF. Okay. Okay, so week 6 will be the task. Okay, our task, it is from the subtopic for the task 1.1 until 3.2. Okay, so 1.1 until 3.2. So you already know the subtopic for the task, then you should prepare yourself lah. Okay, that's why try when you study, try to, if possible, try to understand that subtopic right away. If not, you can always text me, you can always ask me. Okay, so contact me lah, whatever it is, contact me. Okay, so the date is a 26 November 2020, which is on Thursday at night. So our test will be at night, 8:30 until 10:30. Okay, so because you at home, you might have some problem at home or anything. If you cannot sit for this test, please let me know as soon as possible lah. Okay, do not wait on that date. Okay, please let me know as soon as possible. Okay, I will share the question through the WhatsApp and also the Google Classroom. Okay, if you have internet problem, you can always send the answer letter using the WhatsApp only. Okay, no need to upload to the Google Classroom. Okay, so we try to be flexible, but anything you have to inform me lah. Okay, you have to inform the lecturer. Okay, so the test is about 2 hours. Okay, but maybe we start at 8 lah. So 8 as usual, you have to sign for the integrity form. Okay, and then 8:30 we start the exam. Okay, and then we have quiz 3 on the week 8. Okay, and week 8 is supposed to be, we finish chapter 3 here. So you do your assignment for the part 2, and then the due date for the assignment part 2 is on 18 December. Okay, so part by part lah. Okay, but from time to time you can always ask me lah about the assignment. And then we have quiz 4 in week 10, and then we have the quiz 5 week 12. Okay, so I don't know whether you notice or not, we only have 13 weeks for this semester. Okay, usually we have 14 weeks, but now we have 13 weeks with 4 hours per week. Okay, so there is no midterm break because you're already at home. So there is no midterm break. Okay, it will be continuous semester until week 13 and then final exam. Any question regarding the TP?
No, ma'am.
No, madam.
Okay, so we proceed. Okay, so we go to the second slide here. Okay, so this one you can always read by your own. Okay, I just want to highlight a few things here. Okay, the book that we use for this course. Okay, so we have 2 books. The first one is the Applied Statistics module. Okay, the second one is the Statistical Tables and Formula. Okay, so Applied Statistics module, it is encouraged to buy, or you can use another version. So version 2 still applicable to use lah. And then we already upload in column the list of the correction in the version 2. Okay, so you can download the list of the correction and then you can use the version 2. It is not necessary to use the version 3. Okay, so what's important in your module is the tutorial questions, the exercise question, because we cannot share that one as a soft copy lah. Okay, the note that we share, the slide note that we share is a summarization of this module. Okay, so I can say that if you just use the slide note, it should be enough actually, but the module we have further information, and also we have the tutorial questions, and also we have the exercise question maybe which is not in your slide note. Okay, so encourage to buy, or you can just ask from your senior. Okay, the old version also okay to use okay, not necessarily use as version 3. Okay, statistical table and formula, it is very important. Everybody need to have their own statistical table and formula. Okay, because whenever you do your quizzes, you do your test, this is the only book that you can open. Okay, statistical table, the only book that you can open. Okay, because in this statistical table, we have all the formulas that we use from chapter 2 until chapter 6. Okay, only formula from chapter 1 you have to memorize, but just a few formula, because chapter 1 is about theory that you have to understand. So it is more to the reading lah, okay? But when we go to the 1.4, it will be some calculation, okay? So only that part you memorize the formula, but when we go to the chapter 2 onward, all the formulas will be in the statistical table. Okay, so no need to memorize. So when you do your quiz, when you do your task, and also final letter, this is the only book that you can open. Okay, and also we are using critical value from this table. Okay, that's why when we start chapter 2, everybody need to have their own statistical table lah. So then you know how to read that table and so on. Okay, so how to buy? You can go to this link, but so far I think sold out. Okay, for the module, okay, will be restored as soon as possible lah. Okay, sorry, what else? Okay, so I think the rest you can read by your own. We go to the assignment before we discuss the exercise. Okay. Okay. So this one not updated. You just follow the teaching plan. Okay, so we have part 1 and part 2. Okay. So set up a group that consists of 4 or 5 members from your section only, and name your group using any statistical term. Okay, so this one not compulsory to do now lah. To name your group, it is not compulsory to do now, but when you submit the report letter, it is better to have group name. Okay. Okay, so the first step already do. Okay, already create a Google Doc, the one that you need to fill up. Okay, so do not modify my form. Okay, for each group, it must be 4 to 5 members only. Maximum 5, minimum 4. We try to be like that lah. So 4 or 5 only. So don't modify that Google Doc. You just fill up your name, okay, and also the ID. Okay, you can have your own group members. You can choose your own group member. So if it is not enough, 4 or 5, then leave it as a blank. Let another person without group fill up later. Okay. Okay, so what you need to do? Okay. All the analysis must be using Microsoft Excel already mentioned just now. Okay. Obtain an approval of your chosen topic from your lecturer before you start collecting the data and begin your statistical analysis. Okay. So this assignment, it is about, we try to guide you how to conduct a simple research. Okay, just a simple research, just a simple study that can be solved within 4 weeks. Okay, and then you have another 1 week to do your report. Okay, so Suresh, are you trying to say something? Suresh, are you trying to say something, or if not, you just mute your mic? Okay, thank you.
Sorry, ma'am.
Oh, it's okay, thank you. Okay. Kat mana tadi? Lupa lah. Okay. So it is about to conduct a simple study, simple research. So means that you will start from the beginning. Okay, you identify what kind of problem that you want to study, and then you collect the data that reflects to that problem, and then you do the analysis. Just a simple analysis. You construct the histogram and discuss the information from the histogram. you construct the box plot and discuss the information from the box plot. Everything must be using Microsoft Excel. Okay, so before you collect any kind of data, you need to let me know first what you want to study, what you want to investigate, what kind of data that you want to collect. Okay, it is important to avoid any mistake lah. Okay, so that you can start with something that already correct lah. Okay, so what you need to do actually. Okay. Okay, so identify a problem that you are interested to study, provide a brief description of your study. So I give the example so that you understand what you need to do. Okay, for example, we want to study about how UMP student manage the loan. PTPTN, PTPT, and for example, okay. So how UMP student manage the loan, okay. So the scope here is a UMP student. The population here, when you state your what we call the title like this, so means that UMP student is your scope, but it is open. It's up to your group. What do you want to study? It can be smaller group, for example, faculty. You just want to study about like faculty technology, for example, or you just want to study about science faculty. Okay, it's up to you. It can be smaller group. So you decide by your own what is your scope, the population. Okay, it can be smaller group like faculty. It can be smaller group like program. Okay, your program. Let's say that you just want to study about your program, your degree program. So you will have a smaller group lah. Okay, but when you decide on the scope, you have to make sure that when you collect the data, you will have enough data. Okay, you will have enough data. Okay, where you decide on the scope. Okay, and also when you decide on the problem, okay, the factor that you have to consider, the first one, you only have 4 weeks to solve this problem. So don't be too ambitious. Okay, so you only have 4 weeks to solve the problem. And the second thing that you have to consider, the second factor that you have to consider, the number of data itself. Okay, so because of we have minimum number of data that you have to get. Okay, so make sure problem that you want to investigate, you must be able to get that minimum number of data. Okay, so let's say that, okay, for collecting the data, what we call plan, you have to plan in your group. For collecting of data, how much time that you need. For example, that you just plan for the 1 week to collect the data. So make sure the problem that you study, 1 week is enough to get the data that we want, the minimum data that we want. Okay, so those are the factors that you have to consider before you discuss with me lah. Okay. Okay, so choose a single quantitative variable that describe your chosen problem. Okay. So the variable here must be reflect to your problem here. Okay, and what we need here, quantitative variable. Okay, numeric variable. Okay, number of something. Okay, it could be qualitative. You kena tengok juga. Okay, okay. So what kind of quantitative variable that reflects to, we need to know how UMP student manage their load. Okay, so one of the variable you can have quantitative monthly expenses, for example. Okay, monthly expenses by UMP. Oh my god. Monthly expenses. Okay, monthly expenses by UMP. For example, okay, that reflects to how students manage their loan. So monthly expenses. Okay. It cannot be like how UMP student manage their loan, then the variable is how, no. Okay, if the variable is how they manage, that will be qualitative. Okay, so how is like how they manage, what they do with that loan. Okay, for example, that meal, what to buy the book, that one is a qualitative. So you have to think the variable here must be numeric variable, quantitative variable. Okay, number of something, it could be qualitative because number of something, it is frequency. For example, let's say that here you choose number of student, number of student that get PTPTN, for example. Number of memang numeric data, but number of students who get PTPTN, it will be frequency data for the qualitative variable. Okay, because the data that you are going to collect will be like PTPTN or not. Okay, you are for example that your study loan. What is your study loan? That, for example, that the question is what is your study loan? PTPTN or not? So the data that you are going to collect is a PTPTN or not PTPTN. So it is a qualitative. Okay, when you collect number of PTPTN or not, it is a frequency of the data to the qualitative variable. So you have to be careful, okay, when you choose the variable here. Okay, single quantitative variable. Okay, must be numeric data. Okay, so the variable here, when you think about the variable, you have to think that, let's say that the subject is a people. So you get the data from each people. Okay, the data that you get from each people must be numeric data. Okay, that's a numeric data. That's a numeric variable. That's a quantitative variable. Okay, from each subject, you get numeric data. Just now, if you ask PTPTN or not, from the subject, you get qualitative data. Okay, hope that you are clear lah, that one. Okay. Okay, so state your population. Okay, I need to know what is your population. Okay, so divide the data collected into two significant groups. Okay, the group here can be anything that reflects to your study, that's significant to your study. You can divide your data into gender, the simple one, gender, male and female. Or you can divide by faculty. Or you can divide by year. Okay, maybe, okay, for the monthly expenses, we can see the difference when we divide by year. Year 1, year 2, year 3, for example. But we just need two groups. So you can make like group 1, year 1 and year 2. And group 2 is a year 3 and year 4, like that. Only two groups, cannot be more than two. Okay. But the simple one is the gender, but still we need to see whether it is significant or not to your study. Okay? Okay. So how the data will be? Okay, this is important. The data is very important. This is a first factor that you have to think lah when you think about your problem that you want to study. Okay. For each group, select two set of data. So you have to group with for each group two set of data. So all together you will have 4 set of data. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 set of data. So means that the next question, you have to construct the histogram. You need to have 4 histogram. You need to have 4 box plot. Okay. So let's say that we have female data and then here male data. Okay, so kalau you divide by faculty, so faculty 1, faculty 2 here. Okay, and then, so how we separate or divide these two set of data? So first set of data, n must be less than 30, and second set of data, n must be greater than 30. Okay, so why we divide the data like this? We try to see the difference for the small data set and for the large data set. Okay, so for the small data set here, 25 should be okay. 20 to the 20, 20 to the 29 should be okay. Okay, or maybe you have less than that, also okay lah, as long as it must be less than 30. Okay, and here I think 40 should be the minimum one, okay, if possible. Okay, then we can see, okay, the data here cannot be slightly different from this year. It cannot be like here you have 25 and here you have like 32. Then we cannot see so much difference between the small data and also the large data. Okay, that's why try to have at least 40 for this data. So how we divide the data? Okay, let's say that female here you have 100 data. For example, after you collect your data, you have 100 data. So when we key in our Excel, you will have 100 data like this. Okay, so number 1 until 25 here in set 1. Okay, and the rest of it, set 2. That's how we divide. Okay, any questions so far? No? Okay.
No.
Okay. Okay, so that's how that's a number of data that you should get. Okay, and then method of the data collection here. Okay, so I think for now the best method that we can use is a questionnaire lah. Okay, simple questionnaire which is a Google form. Okay, so Google form is a method that we use for the questionnaire lah. So just a simple Google form to collect your data. Okay, so you can blast your Google form to the population that you want, to the subject that you want. Okay, so it will be, if you use a Google form, okay, so it will be voluntary sampling. Yeah, I think you should have the idea lah, because you should go through the notes already. Okay, okay. So for the approval, to get my approval, what I need you to give to me, problem that you want to study, variable that you choose, okay, and population here, okay. And if you decide on the Google form, I need you to send me a draft of your Google form. Okay, draft of the Google form. Okay. Okay, graph of the Google form, so that ni lah, to avoid any mistake lah. Okay. So I give you until next week Friday, 30 October to get my approval. Okay, so after you get my approval, I say okay, then you can collect your data and then proceed to the analysis. Any question? So one of the group leader lah text me, not all of you text me, okay, just a group leader text me with all these 4. Okay, so I need 4 item lah from you, number 1, number 2, number 3, and also draft of the Google form. I think the best method now is a Google form lah. Okay, but let's say that you need you want to collect data from another one, secondary data, it's up to you, but let me know first. Okay, then we can discuss. Any question about the assignment? Okay. Okay. Okay, how to get a good mark for the assignment? Okay. When you prepare for your report, make sure that you go through this marking scheme rubric for the assignment. How I'm going to mark your assignment is by using this marking rubric. Okay. Make sure that what we ask here already is in your report, then you will get mark. Okay. There is no wrong, there is no right. If you state all these things in your report, the chances that you will get mark is high lah. Okay, so make sure that in your report you have all these things. Okay, so refer to the marking scheme rubric when you prepare for your report letter. Okay, anything you can just ask me for the assignment lah. So the marking scheme rubric also is in your column already and also in Google Classroom. Any question, class? Tak ada?
No, madam.
No,
Okay.
no.
Oh, that's good. Betul ke you kat depan ni ke kat dapur kat mana ni? Okay, so we go to the chapter 1. Okay, so as I said, I'm not going to teach you like in face-to-face class. So what we are going to do is we go through the exercise, and through the exercise I will discuss or I will summarize the subtopic for that week. Okay. So I ask you to do the exercise 1.1.3. Okay. Even though the answer is here, but still we need to understand. Nah? Okay. So what is the population here? What is the population here? I open this one. Anyone? What is population here?
The number of
What
first-year
kind of
students.
students? 317 of the first year student. Okay, so one of the answer that you can write is a 317 of the first year student, because here we do have a confirmed number lah. Okay, we do have a confirmed number. How many first year students? Okay, other than that, how do we write the answer? Okay, other than you write 317, because we do have that number, we can write all the first year students. Okay, all the first year. All here very important to show that it is population. Okay, because population is a complete set of the studied object. Okay, complete set of the studied object or the whole collection of the studied object. Okay, so here the studied object is a first year student. Okay, so studied object can be anything. It could be car, it could be what? Transportation and so on. Okay. Or you can write like first year students without the all here. Okay, first year student also accepted lah, as long as you have the S here to show that it is a plural. Okay, so how you write the answer is very important in applied statistics. Okay, that will distinguish whether you really understand the topic or not. Okay, and also it is a difference between 1 mark or 0 mark, how you write the answer. Okay, if you write without the S here, no mark for that. Why? First year student, singular, seorang sahaja, so not population. Okay, what is notation for the 317 here? Anyone? Do you know what is notation for the 317? Anyone? N, capital N. Because it is a population size, so capital N. Okay. So tangible or conceptual? It is tangible. Okay, can be count. Okay, we have finite number. Tangible because it can be count. Okay, we have finite number. Even though the 317 here is not here, still tangible because first year student in a college, we do know how many of them. So tangible. Okay, so you have to think logically, tangible or not, your population. Okay, so what is a sample? What is a sample? Anyone? Student, what student? Sample.
27.
27 of
Student.
first year student. Okay. First week student to you, first year student. Okay. 27 of the first year student. Okay. So you can write 27 of first year student, or you can write in notation. How to write in notation? Small n. So small n equal to 27. Also accepted lah. Memang accepted pun. Okay. So once you know the notation, be well known with the notation, make use with the notation. Okay, everything that you write as well as we have notation on that, so write in a notation. Okay, so notation very important when we go to the chapter 2 and 3 later. Okay, if you heard from your senior, chapter 2 and 3 quite crucial. Okay, so notation is very important when we go to the chapter 2 and 3 later. Okay, and also the population and sample. How we know it is population, how we know it is a sample. It is very important when we go to the chapter 2 and 3. Okay, because of chapter 2 and 3, some of the topic, we do have a few formula to use. So we need to choose which formula that we need to use. So how do we choose? Based on population sample. The value given, population or sample. So you really need to understand this one. Okay. So variable under study.
IQ pretest.
Again. IQ pretest. Okay. If you just write, if you just wrote IQ pretest, for me it is not accurate. Okay. It could be like, I want to accept or not. 1 mark or 0, 1 mark or 0. So not really accurate. So how to write accurate answer? Okay. So how do we define variable? The easiest one is from calculated value because variable is the data that been collected. What kind of data that been collected? That's your variable. Okay. So the easiest way to determine what kind of variable that we have, it is based on the calculated value. The value calculate based on what? Okay, so here we have mean. So this mean calculate from what? So we have here mean score on the IQ pretest. So score of the IQ pretest, it is your variable. The correct answer lah, the accurate answer. Okay, score on the IQ pretest. If we just write IQ pretest, it is not clear. What IQ pretest, or maybe is it venue of the IQ pretest? Is it people who sit for the IQ pretest? So it is not clear. Okay, so how do we define variable? Based on the calculated value, the value that calculate here from what? So that what to, that's your variable. Okay, so score on the IQ pretest. So which number describe a parameter? Which number?
51.
51. 51? Another one? Which number describe a parameter?
52.
Huh?
52.
52. Okay. So if we in this statement, it is very clear that we have true mean is 52. So true mean is a population mean. Okay, so we do have three terms that we use here for the parameter. True value, population value, and another one we have hypothesized value, also parameter value. Okay, in some assessment we use the hypothesized value, so you have to know hypothesized value is a parameter value. Okay, so it is clear that we have here true mean is a 52. Okay, let's say that we delete this sentence, this word. There is no true mean and population mean. So how do we know 52 here is a parameter? It's still parameter, so how do we know it's a parameter? What keyword that we have here to show that 52 is a parameter?
All first year students.
All first year student, because you already decide that all first year student is a population. So without the word true mean or population mean, you have to know that 52 here is a parameter value. Okay, so how do we write the answer? What notation for the 52? What notation that we can use for the 52? Anyone?
And
N is mu.
mu
Mu. So mu equal to 52.
52,
Which number describe a statistic?
51,
51. Because of mean, 51 is a mean which is coming from 27 of them. So 27 we know that it is a n sample size. So 51 was calculated from the n. So it is a statistic. So how do we write here? Notation for the 51.
X,
X bar.
X, X bar.
X bar. Not only X, so X bar. Okay, so any questions so far?
No,
Okay. So we go to the next one. Exercise 1.1.4. Okay. So in the statement below, decide whether the statement describe the descriptive statistic or inferential statistic. Okay. So the difference between descriptive and inferential, okay, in a simple word, we can say that this descriptive statistic, it is when you have a confirmed number about something. A confirmed number that represents any characteristic. Okay, we do have a confirmed number. Okay. Inferential statistic, we do not have a confirmed number to describe something. So what we do in inferential statistic, we just do the estimation, we do the conclusion, or we do the inference about some characteristic in the population, like that. Okay, so descriptive, it is where you have a confirmed number of something. Inferential statistic, when we don't have a confirmed number to represent something. Okay, so the A question, the average cost of the wedding is nearly 10,000. Inferential or descriptive?
Descriptive.
Inferential.
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 Okay, so ada yang jawab descriptive, ada yang jawab inferential. It is inferential stat. Why it is inferential? What keyword that we have here to show that
Because it has
Nearly.
it has the keyword.
of the nearly. Nearly means that we just estimate 10,000, not really 10,000. Okay, so inferential stat. Cukup ke 10,000 nowadays untuk kahwin? Cukup ke tak?
Tak.
Tahu pun tak cukup. So
tak
kena
cukup.
belajar untuk jadi seorang yang berjaya. Okay. Okay, the B question cukup. Oh, bagus ada hang ni. Okay. The B question, inferential or descriptive? Mention.
Descriptive.
It is descriptive. Okay, because it is confirmed that median salary is 30,000 for the man and for the woman is 29,000. So descriptive. Okay, C.
Descriptive.
Again. Descriptive or inferential?
Inferential.
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 Kenapa inferential?
Estimated.
Kenapa inferential?
Inferential. Estimated.
Estimate.
We just do the estimation here. We just estimate that 500,000.
Dia ada keyword estimated.
Yeah, so we do the estimation then inferential. Okay, kalau if we delete this word, then it can be descriptive. So this confirm that 500,000 children live with the diabetes. Okay. The D,
Inferential.
inferential. So D here claims that. So we conclude that, or we do the conclusion, or we do the inference. So inferential. Okay. Any questions so far?
No.
Okay. Are you still with me? Are you still with me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. That's good. Okay, the next exercise, it is 1.2.2. Okay, so I brief a little bit about this subtopic. Okay, so the statistical problem solving methodology here, it is a step that we do to conduct a research. Okay, so this is the step that you have to follow when you do your assignment. Okay, so we start with the identify the problem or opportunity. Okay, so this is the question that you have to ask yourself when you want to start with the study or research lah. Okay, the study here is a research. Okay, and also but for our assignment, like I mentioned, you have to consider those two factors lah, time to solve. Similar juga, if you do any big research, that why you have to consider. Okay, for example, that you have a grant for your research 2 years, for example. So you have to make sure problem that you want to solve, it can be solved within 2 years, for example. So that when that grant end, we can have some report lah, what happened and what happened. Okay. Okay, so after you decide on your problem, step 2 is to decide the method of data collection. Okay, so as you can see here, we have 3 methods. The first one, data that are made available by others. It is more like you just get the data from someone else. Okay, you ask the data from someone else. For example, in UMP scope, okay, you can get the data from the library, for example. Okay, you want to know like how many hours students spend in library, for example. Okay, if you want to discuss about the COVID nowadays is about COVID-19, don't forget to stay safe, okay, and SOP don't forget, okay. So like we want to discuss or we want to do a research about the COVID, so you can ask the data from like hospital, KKM, for example. Okay, so when you ask the data from others party, others department, that one we call it as a secondary data. Okay, secondary data. You do means that you don't need to do anything. You just ask data from another department. But when we need to get the data from other people or other department, we have to go through some procedures. Even you ask the data from our library, UMP, still you need to write a letter, okay? Let's say that for the assignment purpose, so you have to get signature from your lecturer, official letter, Okay, mention that you want a data lah. Okay, and then you will go through some procedure whether it's okay or not to give you a data lah. Okay, so data. Okay, the second one is data resulting from an experiment. So the experiment here, it is not necessarily happen in the laboratory lah. Okay, if in your course, okay, you do the experiment in the lab, then it is also experimental data lah. Okay, so or you can do like we investigate about the heartbeat, okay, whether affected by the exercise or not. Okay, whether the heartbeat affected or not by the type of the exercise that you choose, for example. So you can do your own experiment. For example, that you have 30 students, 30%, okay, as your subject, and then what you do, you measure the data before they do the exercise, and you measure the data before you after they do the exercise. Okay, so you get the data before the data of the heartbeat before the exercise and after the exercise, also called as an experiment. Okay, measurement data, why we call it as a measurement data? Because you need some tool to get that data. Okay, that measurement data. So it is different than observational data. Observe data, we observe that data. Okay, measurement data because we need some tool to measure lah. Okay, if we talk about the COVID, then it is a measurement data because we have to go through tests. We need some tests to measure whether they affected or not to the COVID. But when we talk about the symptom, whether person A, person B have a symptom or not, that one can be observational. We just observe. Okay. Okay. So data collected in an observational study, questionnaire is one of the observational study lah. Okay. So observational could be the qualitative data and quantitative data. If you want to measure, if you want to investigate about the behavior, then we go to the observational method. You observe the data. Okay. So whenever you do the observational study here, it is a primary data. The data that you get by your own. So questionnaire, Google Form is one of the type of the questionnaire lah, the simple one. And nowadays people use Google Form lah for the questionnaire. Dah tak ada lagi the hard copy. Bukan tak ada, but I think most of the time we just get Google Form for the questionnaire. Okay. Okay. So exercise 1.2.2. Identify each of the following studies have been either observational or experimental. The A, observational or experimental. E or O? Nak habis cepat ke tak kelas
E,
ni?
Experimental.
Experimental data. B,
Observational.
observational. Okay, we just observe the data, the color of an automobile. C,
Observational.
observational. Because here what we do here, we observe the attitude, hostile and less hostile. It is more to the attitude. So we observe the attitude. We not measure the cholesterol level. Okay, kalau kita measure cholesterol level here, it will be experimental. Okay, we just observe the attitude here. And then we relate to the cholesterol level. Yeah, I don't know how they relate. Okay, the D here?
Experimental.
Experimental. Okay. Okay, the next exercise, it is about sampling technique. So after you decide, on the method, what method that you are going to use, and then we decide how we are going to choose our subject. Okay, sampling technique, is a technique that we use to decide on our subject. Okay, so first kita dah tahu dah subjek kita adalah student for example. So macam mana kita nak choose which student be our sample. Okay, so we have two type of sampling here, non-probability and probability sampling. Okay, so non-probability, it is the result that you get, it could be biased. Why? Okay, so kita ada three method for the non-sampling: judgment, voluntary, convenient. Okay, judgment, it is when like you do a research and then you ask from the expert where I can get a good data, for example. Okay, so that person, okay, maybe that person tell you that okay, you will get good data from area A, so you just collect the data from area A. Okay, but so when you collect the data from the area A, it is not represent the whole population. That's why the result could be biased. Okay, and then we have voluntary. Voluntary questionnaire. If you do questionnaire using Google Form, you just blast your Google Form to anyone in UMP, for example, then it is voluntary sampling. Why? It is depends on that person want to answer or not your questionnaire. Okay, also not represent the whole population lah. Okay, depends on that person. Okay, maybe the person that answer your questionnaire not really give you much information, so the result that you get might be biased lah. Okay, and similar to the convenient. Convenient is an easy sample. It is like you just stay in one place and then you just give your questionnaire whoever who are there. Siapa je ada kat situ, be your respondent. Okay, dah tak tengok any characteristic, ada je kat situ, you just give it your questionnaire. Okay, so that's a convenient. Okay, and then we have probability sampling. So probability sampling, how do we do this sampling? It represents the whole population lah. That's why it is an unbiased result. Okay, so we have random, systematic, stratified, and cluster. Okay, when we do this for sampling, we do consider the whole subject, and I mean the whole population. Random, for example. Okay. Okay, random. The first step that we do, we list down all the potential subject. Let's say 1 until we have 5,000 subject. Okay, and then you need just 100. So you just choose anyone from 5,000 here to be your sample. Randomly pick anyone, and until you get n equal to 100. Okay, so the 5,000 here could be your capital N. Okay, so like that. Okay. Systematic means that we do have some rule that we follow to choose our sample. For example, for each 5, we choose a sample. Okay, for each 5, we choose one sample. So person number 5, person number 10, person number 15. So we have some rule that we follow when we choose a sample. Okay, stratify and cluster, both is about group. Okay, so we have the potential sample here, potential respondent here. So what we do, we group them into a few groups. Okay, we group them into a few groups. Okay, when we do for the stratify, okay, how do we group them? The characteristic here, characteristic between the group here must be different. Okay, must be different. The characteristic between group must be different. Okay, for the stratify. Okay, and then what we do for the stratify, after we group our potential responder into group, we pick a sample from each group. Okay, let's say that we need n equal to 100. So we pick each 20 from each group. So semua group kat sini apa kita panggil, contribute to our sample. Okay, all the groups here contribute to our sample here. That's stratified. Okay, cluster different sikit. Okay, cluster, how do we group our potential respondent here? Different to the stratified. Between group kat sini, it must be dia mesti ada similar characteristic. Contoh, kat sini ada female, kat sini pun kena ada female, kat sini pun kena ada female, female and female. Okay, stratified dia mesti different. Satu group let's say male, satu group let's say female. Okay, but cluster, semua group mesti ada mix of the characteristic that we choose, and then between group ni dia mesti ada characteristic yang sama. Okay, faham Within group mesti ada mix characteristic. Dia ada male, dia ada female. Let's say that dia ada mix of year, of student, of study. Dia ada what, let's say we are talking about hometown, region for the hometown. So dia ada mix. Okay, for within group, dalam group tu. So between group kita ada similar characteristic. Okay, so macam saya cakap tadi, if female, semua group mesti ada female. Semua group mesti ada male, like that. Okay, so what we do with cluster, from 5 group here, we choose only a few group. For example, that we just choose these 3 group. Okay, and then all the respondent in these 3 group is your sample, semua. That's cluster. Okay, if we compare cluster and stratified, cluster lagi economic to use, because you will save your cost, you will save your time. No need to consider all the group, we just focus on these 3 group. Okay, that's why when we group our sample for the cluster, we want to have mixed characteristic in this group, in the group, because we just choose a few group from all the group. Okay, but untuk stratify, we can have different characteristic between the group, because kita ambil semua sampel daripada semua group. Okay, okay kan tak? Okay, hope tak bercelaru Okay. Okay, you can read the detail in your note here. Okay, I just summarize. Okay, you have the advantage and disadvantage. This one you have to know lah. Okay. And actually we can do a random data. Okay, we can get a random data from the software. Okay. This one we call as synthetic data lah. Synthetic data we generate using software. It is not real data, but we do use synthetic data for our research. Okay, some research they do the simulation. So simulation, the data for the simulation is a synthetic data. Data that we generate using software, not the real data lah. Okay. Okay, exercise 1.2.3. Identify the type of sampling method used. Okay, the A. What sampling that we use here? Anyone? Dah buat ke belum?
Belum lagi teacher.
Apa? Mak siapa pula tak marah tu? A, apa? Systematic. So it is systematic. So we do have some rule that we follow here. So systematic. The B, cluster. So cluster sampling. C, question. C, Nak habis kelas lambat ke cepat? See? It is?
Random.
It is judgment
Random.
sampling. Judgment sampling. C is a judgment sampling. A researcher is called to judge a particular shade of color to be typical for a sample at certain site. Then from this site, sample are drawn. So the sample here, okay, are drawn from site that at what we call site that we get from this researcher. Okay, advised by this researcher. So judgment sampling. Okay, D.
Cluster.
D.
Cluster.
Stratified. Kenapa stratified? Okay, population is divided into groups according to their rank. Okay, we divide by the rank. Several are selected. Several are selected from each group. Okay, so we select our sample from each group. So stratified. Kalau cluster, several are selected from a few of group, then cluster. But here from each group, stratified. Okay, E.
Random.
Convenient sampling. Okay, so as I mentioned just now, random, we need to have a list of the potential respondent. Okay, but here you just stay at one place, okay, a surveyor stand outside a shop in the ECM and randomly select people to participate in a quiz. So he or she here just choose anyone who are there to be their sample. Okay, anyone who in ECM to be the sample, so convenient sampling. F. Systematic. Okay, F is a systematic because we have a rule that we follow here. At the end of each hour, for the 5 hours, she takes the 10 most recently produced row and count the number of flaws on each. So we have rule that we follow, then systematic sampling. Okay. Any question? Okay, so the step 4 here, after you get the data, okay, so you already do the
No,
sampling. You get the data, we classify our data and summarize the data. Okay, so classify the data means that we identify the data that we have here is a qualitative or quantitative. If it is quantitative, you have continuous or discrete data. If it is qualitative data, then it is a nominal data or ordinal data. That's how we classify. Okay, so you can classify based on the type. The type means that whether it is qualitative or quantitative. Okay. Okay, that's type. You have to know the difference. Okay, if the question asks you the type of the variable, then the answer should be either qualitative or quantitative. Okay, or you can answer whether it is a continuous or discrete or nominal or ordinal. Okay, or we can classify by level of measurement. So we have 4 levels. Okay, 2 levels for the qualitative and another 2 for the quantitative. Okay, and how do we summarize? You can use graphical. Okay, we have many type of chart, but type of chart, which chart that should we use depends on the type of our variable lah. Okay, kalau you ada qualitative, then what kind of graph suitable for that? Okay, qualitative usually we go to the pie chart, for example. Okay, if you have quantitative, what kind of graph? Maybe histogram. Okay, so depends on your variable. Also, if you use descriptive statistics to summarize. Depends also on your variable. Okay. Descriptive statistic means that you calculate mean, you calculate median, or you find the mode of your data. Okay. To summarize your data. Okay. So you have for the type, we have qualitative or attribute data. Quantitative is a numeric data. Okay, you have nominal data. For the qualitative, the value cannot be ranked. Gender, race, citizen, color, the type of color. Ordinal data, the value that can be ranked, and Likert scale is used. Okay, if you use with the questionnaire, okay, if you still remember, we do have like level of light, for example, from this strongly dislike until light. That one is a Likert scale. So Likert scale under ordinal data because it can be ranked. Strongly dislike number 1, for example. Okay, and strongly light number 5, for example. So it can be ranked. So it is ordinal data. Okay. Whenever you have qualitative data, when we are going to analyze, we still need to transform into quantitative data because doesn't matter what software that you use, even though Microsoft Excel, they cannot read the qualitative data. So what we do here, we use a code number, okay, to transform our data into quantitative. For example, that we have gender, so female number 1 and male number 2. So what we key in our Excel or any software is a 1 and 2, not female and males. If not, software cannot read your data. Okay, and then we have quantitative here, discrete and continuous. Discrete means the whole number, and then continuous, now data with decimal places. Okay. Okay, so level of measurement. Okay, so these two nominal and ordinal for the qualitative data. So if it is a nominal data, then it must be nominal level. If it is an ordinal data, then it must be an ordinal level. Okay, that one is a clear. And then we have interval level for the ratio level, and also ratio level, it is for the quantitative. Okay, quantitative data, numeric data. Okay, interval level, I think the most important difference between these two. Interval level means that 0 means something. Okay, 0 not nothing. 0 temperature means freezing point, so it means something. 0 mark in IQ test must be explanation why he or she got 0. 0 shoe size, why it is happened. It's not nothing lah. Okay, kalau tak hantu, because 0 shoe size is not. Okay, and then ratio, 0 means something. 0 means nothing. Okay, so 0 means nothing. So 0 people, tak ada, there's no people. Okay, RM 0, so there is no money. So 0 means nothing. Okay, question? Okay, so we go to exercise 1.2.4. Okay, number 1 here, I leave it to you lah. Okay, we go to the number 2 here. Okay, so we have two variables here. Okay, the first one is a type of transportation, and then we have number of job-related injuries. So the type of transportation, qualitative or quantitative?
Quantitative.
Qualitative or quantitative?
Qualitative.
Quantitative.
Quantitative. Number of the injuries, quantitative or qualitative?
Quantitative.
Quantitative, discrete or continuous?
Discrete.
Discrete data. So this is a discrete data, okay, because of number of job related to injuries. Okay, so the type here, nominal, nominal level or ordinal level? Type of transportation, nominal level, ordinal?
Nominal.
Nominal level. Okay, no overlapping between these 5 transportation industry, and also it is not a rank data lah, so nominal level. Number of job here, ratio or interval?
Interval.
Ratio or interval? If we say 0 number of job, it means what? Nothing or something? If we say 0 here, nothing or something?
Nothing.
Nothing. So it is ratio level or interval level?
Interval.
Ratio level. Ratio level. Because 0 number of job means that nothing lah, tak ada. Okay, so ratio level. Any questions so far? Jam setengah saya cakap without stop Any questions so far?
No, teacher.
Okay, student. Okay, so I think that's it for the lesson. Okay, so next week you should continue from 1.2.5 until I think 1.3 lah, the descriptive statistic. Okay, so are we informed which exercise that we are going to discuss on Thursday? And then it will be like this lah. Okay, you do the exercise first, you go through the exercise first, and then we will discuss, and also through the exercise we summarize the subtopic on that week. Okay. If you have any question where you go through the notes, and you can always text me lah as soon as possible. Okay, do not wait until our class. Okay. So the wrap for today, again, communication is very important for the online learning. I cannot see you. Okay, I don't know what you are thinking about. Okay, so everything you just inform me. You have a problem with the internet or you have any problem related to our course, then please inform me. Okay, you can text me. Okay, so nice to meet you. Nice to know you. Hopefully that we have a good semester together. How about attendance? Okay, I still not decide on that. Okay, but we start the attendance next week. Okay, this week I assume that everybody attend the class. Okay, so next week maybe we do the attendance in Google Classroom. We create the attendance in a Google Classroom, then you just take. Okay, so we start next week for the attendance. Anything that you want to ask me before we end this class?
No, teacher.
Right? Okay. Macam sekolah lah. Okay, so that's all for today. Thank you class for your cooperation. See you again next week, insyaAllah. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you, teacher.
Okay.